إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا لهو ولعب وإن الدار الآخرة لهي الحيوان لو كانوا يعلمون. My brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this verse of Quran al-Kareem that the life of this world is nothing but a glitter, an amusement, a mirage. It's not real. The real life is the life of the hereafter. The real place, a real dwelling that you and I should yearn to have, inshallah, a good ending there, a good place there is the place of Akhirah. Only if we understood, only if we knew. لو كانوا يعلمون, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, only if people knew this. My brothers and sisters, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, during his last days, as you know, he's getting closer to his death. But before I tell you this, I would like to remind myself and you about a verse that I quoted before, and I'll say it again, and I'll bring to you something that is very beautiful in tafsir of Imam al-Qurtubi, Jami' Ahkam al-Quran. Kuffar one day said that, look, this guy, let him say what he's saying, one day he's going to die. This whole thing will end with him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not remain silent on this matter. He revealed the Quran. He said, oh Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yes, you're going to die, like they're saying. And they too are going to die. And then on the day of judgment, there will be a mukhasima. Then they will be arguing with one another. They will be blaming one another. That I am in hell, I am in here because of this and because of that. So the death is such a reality that he mentions about one of the great scholars of Islam. I think his name is Wisaal ibn Ashyam, one of the, early tabi'een. Wisaal ibn Ashyam rahmatullah alayh. Someone visited him and he saw him having his meal. And he told him, you're my wife, come eat. Let's sit and eat with me. He said, forget about the food. I want to tell you a news that your brother passed away. He said, eat this food. I knew about my brother's death before even you came to me. He said, what do you mean by this? He said, when Allah told Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you and all of them are going to die, I already knew my brother, that he was going to die. I knew this. If Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this world, then we know that everyone will leave this world. If anyone had to live here for eternity, if Allah would have, if He would have chosen someone to live for eternity, He would have chosen Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to live forever. So my brothers and sisters, during his last days, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did something, another interesting decision. And this decision involves two companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Kitab al-Maghazi of Imam Bukhari's Sahih mentions this, in multiple ahadith, in form of short stories. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was inherited through Khadija radiallahu anha as a slave. A slave was inherited to him in part of the wedding. His name is Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu anhu. Unfortunately, my brothers and sisters, this man didn't come from a background from where usually people would be slaved from in those days. He was from a decent family. He just got kidnapped and then got sold and finally ended up being in Mecca by the slave traders. He was sold here. So when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ received him, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ loved him so much that he declared to people that he is Zayd ibn Muhammad. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That until Allah revealed the Quran, that you cannot change his name. He cannot be like your literal son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to put a limit to that love. This is how much Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved him. And then his father, his original biological father, came looking for him with other family members, and they said, "Oh Rasulullah, we're from a decent family. We're not slaves. No one in our families is slaves." You know, in those days, if you are a slave, your children are slaves, your children and their children, alhamdulillah, Islam abolished it. Islam abolished it actually. That if a slave is married to a free man, a woman, a sister, all her children that will be born will be free people. There's no inherited slavery in Islam. So anyway, it's the custom of Jahiliyyah. He tells them, "Oh Rasulullah, we are, noble people. Our son got kidnapped, here we are to take him." So Prophet said, "Sure, he's all yours, you can take him." They were even ready to pay the price that they paid for him. Khadija radiallahu anha, al-Mu'mineen, before marriage of Rasulullah. So they inherited him. He said to his father that the family I am with, there cannot be a better home than the home of Rasulullah. I can't go. I cannot go. And then his son, Usama ibn Zayd ibn Haritha, is called Hibbu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the beloved of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a title given that no one earned except his children or him, his own biological children or him. Now, before Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's death, an expedition took place. It's called Mu'tah. Very famous expedition of Islam where only 3,000 companions were facing 100,000 plus strong Romans. And when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, this Sariya is called the Ghazwa or the battle of many amirs, many leaders, multiple leaders. It has never happened like this, that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ appointed 3 leaders in this. He said, "I appoint this person on you, and then this person on you, and this person on you." He appointed 3 of them. First one was, I believe, Zubayr ibn al-Awwam radiallahu anh. Second is Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu anh. And third is, I think, Wallahu alam, I forgot his name. I can't think of it. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anh. That's why he became Abdullah ibn Rawaha. Thank you. Zubayr was martyred in this battle, but he was not the leader. So Abdullah ibn Rawaha, Ja'far ibn Abi Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, he became Ja'far ibn Tayyar actually later. Dhul Janahayn, he was given wings because he lost both of his hands protecting the Muslim flag. Prophet Muhammad was telling them before even this campaign was launched. He said, if he dies, then next one is this Amir. If he dies, then next one is Amir. Then if after Ja'far died, then Zayd is the Amir, the third one. Or the second, whatever. 3 of them. A Jewish scholar, a rabbi, was listening to this. He told them, he said, "By God, all 3 of them are not going to make it." Because Prophet said, if all 3 die, then you choose who will be your leader. And that's when they chose Khalid ibn Walid, Saifullah, the sword of Allah, as their leader, who rescued the rest, and they retreated. They did not run away, they retreated. So Zayd was appointed as a leader at that time, and now Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is, remember, it was a retreat. They did not run away. Prophet is reassembling. Imagine a few days before his death, in his illness, and he sends them under the leadership of Usama. Here comes the khutbah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ saw a problem. He saw a problem that the Qurayshis, there's still some germs of Jahiliyyah there. They did not like it. That someone from a slave family, who was slave, ibn slave, son of a slave, how could he be leader over so many big elder companions and so and so. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, 2 ahadith I will relate to you quickly inshallah. The Muslims spoke about Usama in an unfavorable manner. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, these are words of the hadith actually, they spoke about him. And Prophet ﷺ said, "I have been informed that you spoke about Usama. Let it be known that he is the most beloved of all people to me." He is the most beloved of all people to me. قَدْ بَلَغَنِي أَنَّكُمْ قُلْتُمْ فِي أُسَامَةَ وَأَنَّهُ أَحَبُّ النَّاسِ إِلَيْهِ. Allahu Akbar. The other one, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave a complete khutbah. When he saw more rumors coming and people, subhanAllah, gossip, backbiting is a problem. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, فقام رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال, he stood and gave a khutbah. أن تطعنوا في إمارته فقد كنتم تطعنون في إمارة أبيه من قبل وأيم الله إن كان لخليفا للإمارة وإن كان لمن أحب الناس إليه وإن هذا لمن أحب الناس إلي بعده. Prophet ﷺ said, basically in other words, that first of all, I would not appoint him if he wasn't deserving or qualified person. In Islam, age does not define your maturity, age does not define your qualification. Rule number one, you know how they say golden rule, age or your seniority and age does not define your maturity or your qualification. Qualification is based on skill set, what you have. What are you made of, what you do, what can you deliver. It's on those bases, not on the basis of age or tribe and this and that. So Prophet ﷺ said, you used to do ta'an on his father too first. You used to criticize his leadership. And now you're criticizing him. Let me tell you this. One, he is deserving. Two, he is the most beloved of all the people. Rasulullah ﷺ said that. Sadaqa Rasulullah ﷺ. Now, scholars have two opinions of another important brief event that happened in the household of Rasulullah ﷺ. Some say it happened near those days, in the last 4 or 5 days of his illness. And actually, Bukhari actually confirms, if you continue the ahadith, reading one after other, the Kitab al-Maghazi, that because wafat of Rasulullah is documented here, that actually this happened on the last day of Prophet Muhammad. The last day of Prophet's death is Monday, Yawm al-Khamis. Oh, I'm sorry, Yawm al-Ithnain. That's the last day. Yawm al-Khamis is still in my head because of that Thursday. There's a lot of events that happen in Thursday. So from Thursday until Monday, these are very critical last few days of Prophet Muhammad's life. And my brothers and sisters, you have to know this, it's very interesting to know, that this is the day on which Jibreel came so many times on earth. So many times wahi came, that Sahaba and Tabi'een have narrated many riwayat, including al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha, because she was constantly in Rasulullah's companionship there, taking care of him, making ruqya on him. She said, by God, as if Jibreel was constantly here. Revelation after revelation, revelation after revelation, wahi after wahi. That day, most wahi that came on Prophet Muhammad was the last day of Prophet's life. And please mark my words here, the death of Prophet Muhammad cannot be 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal. It's very famous among Muslims, 11th and 12th, they argue over this, some say 13th. It cannot be. Because Prophet Muhammad gave his last khutbah on a Friday, which was the 9th of the Hijjah. And both are in Bukhari. And the day he passed away was Monday. And the time in between, according to Imam al-Bukhari and many other Sahih hadith in other books of hadith, exactly 90 days. You fix 9th of the Hijjah on a Friday, and you fix a Monday, you can never get it to 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal. It has to be somewhere around in the first 10 days, closer through 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, or 5th of Rabi'ul Awwal, but cannot be 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal. This goes in the heart of those brothers who use this as an evidence against the Mawlid. You don't have to celebrate Mawlid, but don't use this as a dalil that, oh, this is the day Prophet died too. That's not the day Prophet died, by the way. So anyway, on this last day, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was visited, obviously, whole family knows he's sick, visited by his daughter. The Prophet actually called for her. عن عائشة رضي الله عنها. This is also in Bukhari, volume 5. دعا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فاطمة عليها السلام في شكواه الذي قبض فيه فسارها بشيء فبكت ثم دعاها فسارها بشيء فضحكت فسألنا عن ذلك فقالت سار النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه يقبض في وجعه الذي توفى فيه فبكيت ثم سارني فأخبرني أني أول أهله يتبعه فضحكت. Fatima alayha salam, as Imam Bukhari said, was called for by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so many different ahadith of Bukhari, 4,430, 3715, 6285, 3623 and 3625, they all talk about this story. So when we put all these things together, actually Aisha radiallahu anha narrates in other ahadith of Bukhari and Muslim both that by God, when she walked like her father. Her walk was very similar to her father. And the routine was that when they would come, this is how they would treat one another. If Prophet visited her, she would get up for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet would kiss her forehead and she would kiss Prophet's forehead, and she would have him sit at Prophet's place, her place. So here, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when she visits him, Prophet cannot get up. She kisses the forehead of Prophet, and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam moves a little bit and gives him her place to sit down, and whispers something in his ears that Fatima actually did not reveal because it was a secret. This hadith, particular one, I'm just going quickly. This one does not say the details, but if you read all of them, this is how it happened. So he whispered, and she cried. Then he whispered something, she smiled, she laughed. Aisha saw this whole thing, and after the Prophet, of course, passed away, then she asked him, she said, I beg you in the name of Allah, tell me what did Prophet tell you that day, because it was a secret and you wouldn't tell. She said, well, now I can tell, because it was for that time that I had to keep it secret. The Prophet ﷺ told me in my years, Fatima, I am leaving. I am leaving this world. She cried. All her sisters have passed away. Prophet had 4 daughters, if you know this. Then she said, then why did you laugh? Why did you smile? Dhahak is actually laughter. She said, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ whispered to me that you will be the first one of my people to meet me. You will join me very soon in that next life, the real life, eternal life. And muttafaqun alayh, and Prophet told me that aren't you happy? Shouldn't you be happy that you will be Sayyidatu Nisa'i Ahlil Jannah, all master of all the women of Muslims in paradise. Shouldn't you be happy about that, Fatima? And she laughed on that. She smiled. Subhanallah. And then, my brothers and sisters, on the last day when she saw Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in a lot of pain, she said, لما ثقل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم جعل إذا غشاه, he had the ghashi, he fainted. Or some translators say he was under a lot of distress and pain and unconsciousness. فقالت فاطمة عليها السلام وكرب أباه فقال, she said, oh, my father's in pain, oh, my father's in pain. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told her, ليس على, of course he gained some consciousness. He said, ليس على أبيك كرب بعد هذا اليوم. After this day, that's why these events took place actually on that last day of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He said, no, Fatima, after, peace be upon her, radiallahu anha, after this day, your father will have no pain over you. My brothers and sisters, here, something important that we need to understand. I spoke to Anas and other things, that pain does not mean that a person is being punished. Unfortunately, we Muslims have a problem of judgment calling when we see people suffering. Especially in the last days, when we see somebody suffering, I have heard people say, Tawbah, Tawbah, astaghfirullah, oh my God, look at this guy, how he was being punished and stuff. This is very, very bad. Please don't do that. If that is true, then Rasulullah, is he being punished? Very dangerous judgment call. We have to be very careful. In fact, Imam Bukhari has put a whole chapter about this. أشد الناس بلاء الأنبياء ثم الأمثل فالأمثل. Allahu Akbar. A man came, I'll just quickly, for the time's sake, I'll quickly say the hadith for you. One of the companions of Rasulullah ﷺ came and he saw Prophet ﷺ in a lot of pain. And he said, "Oh Rasulullah, you are in so much pain. It's like a pain of many people, double than normal pain. Why do you go through all this pain?" The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Yes, it is so. No Muslim is afflicted with any harm, even if it were the prick of a thorn, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expiates his sins because of that, as a tree sheds its leaves." And so many different ahadith here, and Prophet ﷺ said that we, the prophets of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests those who are closer to Him more than others. So the closer to Allah you are, you could be going through more and more pain. So sure, for some it's kafara, but what if you don't have sins? What happens then? Your ranks are elevated and elevated and elevated. You're closer and closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in highest of the highest paradise. Inshallah. And that's why al-Mu'mineen said in the end of Kitab al-Maghazi here, I'm going to just say the hadith by heart inshallah. She said, after I saw what Prophet Muhammad went through, after what I saw he was going through, before this, I used to make a wish that, "Oh Allah, let me die in a sudden death, so that I feel nothing. I leave quick this dunya." She said, I stopped making that dua. I don't care about it anymore because I realize that if the most beloved of Allah, the most beloved of all the creations of Allah, the best of Allah's creation, if He is going through all this, then who are we? Then who are we? Where do we stand? SubhanAllah, my brothers and sisters. So the pain does not define a person's sins or adab and all that. You cannot judge that. Just don't do that. Otherwise, what are you going to do about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That's why Aisha radiallahu anha said, after that I stopped making that dua. I stopped wishing for that. That, oh, I want to die without pain. Leave it in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, my brothers and sisters, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's condition was worsening and he was in a lot of pain. But remember, in these days, in these moments, especially in this last day, he ordered a lot of things to be done. A lot of things were done. For instance, there was some silver or some money left, some coins basically, were left in the house. While he was in pain, he kept telling Aisha that give those in sadaqah. I don't want anything left in the house of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't want any money left in the house of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the house of course, he's not saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we're saying that. In the house of Rasul, Allah's Rasul, that he asked me on the day of judgment that, did you not trust in me? That's why no one of us can reach the taqwa of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one of us. We all put money, investments, and this and that, taking care of our children and all that. He left nothing. To the point that Aisha said that I got so busy that I forgot about it. And he scolded at me that, Aisha, do you want me to answer Allah for this? That why you did not trust me? Why you left this behind? It's not for us, it's special for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For us, he told us that don't leave your children begging, leave something for them. But Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his level is beyond all of us. You cannot compete. You cannot compete. You cannot attain that taqwa that Nabi of Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has. So she sent for Ali that you go quickly and just disperse this wealth. We don't want anything left here. Allahu Akbar. In fact, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's shield and some other belongings were mortgaged to get some extra money on that last day to take care of other things. So imagine this. This is a Nabi of Allah who could have all the wealth of the world when Muslims were superpower of the region, and yet he left nothing behind. My brothers and sisters, one of the last things that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did. Now, Sayyida Aisha radiallahu anha, she was doing a lot of ruqya on Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. I have gone through those before. That one of the best ruqya that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ liked was the last three surahs of the Quran, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Falaq, and Surah Nas. These are one of the best. Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not revealed a better protection for people than this. And then also that famous dua that I presented before you, inshallah, in the past as well, that it's very famous, that Sahaba used to do this. Allahumma ya Rabb al-Nas, adhib al-Ba's, anta al-Shafi, la shifa'an illa shifa'u, and so forth, inshallah. La yughadiru saqama. Exactly. So when she was doing this, there are a few words that Imam Hanbal added. She said, in the end, I stopped rubbing my hand on him and doing this. I held the hand of Prophet Muhammad and I would blow on it and rub on his body. He held my hand. He said, stop, Aisha. The time is over for that. Now I have to meet my Creator. And she said he was looking towards the roof. And she said, I realized it, that this is now he's making that choice, because he was saying two things. One was the ayah of the Quran, من يطع الله والرسول فأولئك مع الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. And then he was saying, اللهم اغفر لي وارحمني وألحقني بالرفيق الأعلى. اللهم اغفر لي وارحمني وألحقني بالرفيق الأعلى. Oh Allah, forgive me and have mercy on me and join me with the best of the companions. And as one of the translators says, no, he's saying, let me join with the best of all the companions, the best of all the companionship, that is the presence, the being in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She said, by God, now I remember the hadith that Prophet Muhammad told us, that no Prophet of Allah, not just for Prophet, no Prophet of Allah leave this world unless he is given this honor, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him a choice. He shows him his place up there, and then he tells him, the angel will tell him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has that prepared for you. لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ دَارُ الْآخِرَةِ. This is the dwelling you're going to have. You choose to live here, you choose to live, or you choose to go, you choose to go. They're given this honor, prophets of Allah, not just Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Those ahadith that say only Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is given, and the Jibreel was told that send Malakul Maut back and this and that. They are not authentic, my brothers and sisters. Every Prophet of Allah, may Allah's blessings be on all of them, are given that choice. And she said when he started saying that, we realized that he's making that choice. And in that moment, my brother Abdul Rahman came, the son of Abu Bakr, and he had a siwak, and from his eyes he's signaling that I need that siwak. It's time for meeting. You don't go to a meeting without brushing your teeth. So Umm al-Mu'mineen said that I took it from Abdul Rahman, chewed it, and he said Allah gave me the honor of mixing my saliva with the saliva of Prophet Muhammad. She chewed it and softened it for him, gave it to him, brushed his teeth, and after that she held him near her chin. And then that's when he kept on saying, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, until the head was put down in her lap and he passed away. We all belong to Allah and we all going to go back. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi. Alhamdulillah. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. My brothers and sisters, Sayyidah Aisha said that I was young at that time. I couldn't hold on myself. And for a moment I forgot the nasiha of Rasulullah. And she hit her face a few times, and then she realized that she should never ever do it, because Prophet ﷺ forbade us from doing that. And also his daughter, Fatima, almost lost the patience. That's when one of the companions, Abu Sufyan ibn al-Harith radiallahu anhu, said those bayt sha'r that I narrated to you before already in the last khutbah, that he said, Fatima, if you cry, if you wail, nobody's going to stop you from that, because you lost not just a father, but remember, this grave where he's going to be buried in, there is going to be no grave better than that grave, because in this is the Sayyid, the master of all the mankind, the leader of all the mankind, is going to be buried in this. Inshallah, I will end here, because it's very difficult to continue beyond this. Inshallah, hopefully, before Ramadan, there will be one more khutbah where we will talk about a few other things right after death, like the burial of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So burial took place towards the end of Tuesday, and it took place exactly where he passed away, which is where he is today also, inshallah, in the house of Aisha radiallahu anha. But one last thing I would like to remind myself and you, that alhamdulillah, Aisha said, although all the wives of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had given permission that he could stay in my place, but that day was my day. that day was my day. It just happened that in the cycle, it became my day, so I did not took any of my sister's right to keep Rasulullah with me. So it's a great honor. Sahaba were devastated by this. One of the Sahaba was in his garden, working actually for someone, and he was picking the dates. And when he heard Prophet Muhammad pass away, Sayyidina Unais radiallahu anhu, he heard and literally he fell from the tree, and in a shock he passed away. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite you and I under the flag of Prophet Muhammad, give us his true love, inshallah, give us his companionship, inshallah, in Jannah, make us among those who love Rasulullah in both with heart and with practical ways as well, inshallah, follow his footsteps. Allahumma aslih ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma farrid ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma arham ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma ansur al-Islam wal Muslimin. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal Muslimin. Allahumma adhill al-shirka wal mushrikeen. Allahumma dammir kulla a'da' al-din. Qala Allah ta'ala fi al-Quran al-Kareem, inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala al-nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik.